Alright guys, welcome back to the T1 Fitness channel. If you haven't already, or if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and follow me on social media, and I'll have all of my social media linked in the description below to get notifications whenever the next video is up. So today, we're talking about leg day. Leg day, if you haven't watched my videos before, leg day is my all-time favorite workout day. I love doing leg day. So we're finally getting to talk about it. I'm going to share with you some of the workouts that I do during leg day and some tips and tricks to doing those exercises. So let's get started. So the first leg exercise we're going to get into today is the leg extension. The leg extension works your quads. Your quad muscles are the muscles on the front part of your legs. So whenever you're doing this exercise, to set yourself up for success, is you're going to make sure that your posture is perfect whenever you get into the machine. So you want to make sure that the seat back is right there to make sure your back stays straight. And whenever you're sliding your legs in, you want to make sure they're about mid ankle to high ankle up on the bar. So whenever you're kicking your legs out, you can get that full range of motion. So whenever you're doing this exercise, you're going to want to kick both your legs up all the way until the top till you get that full extension and feel that tightness in your quads, and then slowly lower the weight back down to the starting position, and then kick it back up almost immediately. You'll feel the burn from beginning to end. Like as soon as you kick it up, you'll feel that your muscles tighten, and then as you're lowering it, you'll still feel that tightness in your muscles, or at least you should. So the important part about this exercise is to maintain your posture and maintain that full extension all the way through. Whenever you start to lose that full range of motion and get that full extension, or start to lose control of the weight, you might want to consider either stopping there because you're almost to failure, or you need to lower the weight depending on where you are in your rep count. If you are towards the end of your rep count, that means you're almost at failure. But if you're on, like, say rep 3 or 4, and that's not where your rep count is supposed to be, you might want to consider lowering the weight to get that full range of motion. Because if you're not getting that full range of motion, that full extension, you're not going to get the full potential out of the workout, and you're going to end up hurting yourself in the end. So make sure whenever you're doing the leg extension, you kick all the way up, get that full extension, make sure your muscles are really tight at the top of the workout, and then slowly lower the weight back down. So the next exercise is the calf press. I personally like the calf press because I feel like I get a deeper burn in my calves whenever I'm doing this exercise. So whenever you're doing this exercise, positioning is key. Whenever you're positioning your feet on the leg press, you want to make sure that it's a little closer in than shoulder width apart. But you also want to make sure that you have enough of your feet on the leg press. If you have too much of your feet on the leg press, you're going to basically be doing leg press. But if you don't have enough, you're going to basically be tiptoeing like a ballerina on there. And that's not what you want to do. You want to get enough of your foot on there to where whenever you push the weight forward, you feel a burn in your calves. So you're going to want to push the weight up, and then kind of tilt your feet all the way back as far as they can go. Keep your knees a little bent. You don't want to try to do this workout with your knees completely locked. You want to have a little bend in your knees and kind of put all of the burden of the weight mainly on your calves. That is so important. Along with positioning, that is very important to make sure your knees are bent a little bit, and make sure you can feel the real burn on your calves. If you're not feeling that burn in your calves whenever you're doing this exercise, you might want to consider looking at how your position is, and then then after that, if it's not that, then you want to assess how far your knees bent. Maybe your knees are bent a little too far. Maybe they're not bent far enough. But definitely this exercise is very beneficial. I personally like it among many of the other ways you could possibly work your calves. I think it's very beneficial. You get to really see how strong your calves are or can be during the exercise. I typically do 4 to 5 sets. It depends on the day. Sometimes I feel a little bit stronger than other days. And I do at least 25 reps of this just because I feel like I can do so much with with my calves. I just like doing a lot of reps with this exercise. So like I said, with this exercise, positioning and then making sure that your knees are either bent a little bit but not too far. Just making sure that your feet position is perfect. So I definitely recommend this exercise. It's definitely something that you should work into your workout routine. So next time you're in the gym, I think you should give it a try. Alright, so let's talk about the leg press. Leg press works your quads, your hams, and your calves. Pretty much your entire leg with the exception of the glutes. This is also an excellent workout if you're trying to improve your squat. It really helps with that overall strength, and it works the same muscles when you're doing the squat. So this is an excellent, if you're trying to improve your squat, this is an excellent workout to do so. Just like with the calf press, you want to make sure your foot positioning is perfect. You want to make sure your feet are about shoulder width length apart. You want to make sure that they're firmly on the leg press machine at all times. So whenever you're starting this exercise, you want to go full extension, and then you want to take the guards off, and then slowly descend that weight towards you, bending your knee at about a 90-degree angle. Okay, you want to hold that for about, I'd say, about half a second to really kind of build up that tension, and then shoot the weight forward. And you want to constantly have that flow and have that tempo to really make sure that you're getting the full force of the workout. That is so important to get the full force of that workout, obviously. But like I said, if you're feeling that fatigue early in your rep set, then you might want to consider starting off with a lower weight and then working your way up. There's no point in trying to be superhuman or trying to be Superman and hurting yourself because you can't leave your ego alone and do less weight. So I typically do 4 to 5 sets, about 10 to 12 reps each time, because I'm doing more weight each time, and I'm trying to build up that muscular strength in my legs. So you can see me transition from a much smaller weight whenever I'm doing my warm-up and first set, because I realized I was doing about 20 to 25 reps in my warm-up and first set, and then I'm doing a lot more weight towards the end, but a lot less reps. So you kind of have to balance that out whenever you're doing leg press, because you want to keep that same tempo that I've told you before about having that slow descension and making sure your knees bend at a 90-degree angle, and then shooting that weight forward. You want to keep that kind of same tempo when you're doing this. So if you feel that fatigue set in early, you might want to drop the weight. Or if you're getting all the way through your rep set and you don't really feel any sort of fatigue in there, and you're not even getting close to your failure, you might want to up it more than 5 or 10 pounds, because you're obviously doing weight that you can do plenty of reps for. So you obviously want to get as close to your failure as you possibly can. So you want to have those reps in reserve, is what it's called. You want to have those reps in reserve. Or for some people enjoy going to failure. So that just kind of depends on what your goals are and what you are doing with the workout. But leg press is a great exercise to build those muscle groups up, and it's also good for when you're doing squats. So that's definitely a workout that I would integrate into your workout plan. Alright, so the last exercise we're getting into is the hex bar deadlift. Personally, I like using the hex bar a lot more than the standard bar. Some people hate the hex bar, some people love standard bar. I personally like the hex bar, mainly because it takes a lot of the pressure off of your lower back, your hams, and your glutes, but it puts a little bit more pressure on your quads to get the weight up, but it still works those other 3 muscle groups. It just evenly distributes it between the other 3 muscle groups. Now, whenever you're doing this exercise, you want to make sure that you have your knees bent and then get that full extension, pulling that weight all the way up to your waist before dropping it back down. But the main thing that a lot of people forget whenever they're working with this exercise is that you have to push your hips out. That's the thing that people most of the time forget, and they end up hurting themselves, or like I have done in the past, hurt my lower back, which is why I like doing the hex bar, because it takes pressure on my lower back. So whenever you're doing this exercise, make sure you push your hips back as you're going down with the weight. Make sure you bend your knees a little bit, and then make sure when you're coming back up with that weight, you want to make sure that you're standing straight up and pulling that weight as close as you can to your waist and getting that full extension. Just like the other leg exercises that we've talked about, you always want to get that full extension. You always want to make sure that your knees are bent to a certain degree. It kind of depends on the exercise, of course, but with this one, you want to make sure you're getting your knees bent, not quite to a 90-degree angle, but closer than other exercises. But the most important thing is getting those hips pushed back and making sure that that weight touches the ground a little bit, and then coming back up and standing straight up is super important. So definitely deadlift. If you hate deadlift, I would definitely give the hex bar deadlift a try before you completely throw away the exercise, because I know a lot of people that hate doing deadlift, or they had a bad experience with it, and it's normally with that standard bar. Try the hex bar, and I guarantee you'll see a different improvement. If you still hate it, okay, but at least you gave the deadlift workout a shot. But I guarantee you the hex bar deadlift will change your life if you have never tried it before. So I definitely recommend it. Alright guys, so that's my video. I hope you guys learned a little bit something about leg day. Hopefully some of you actually have more of appreciation for leg day. That's obviously my goal, is for somebody to learn something about leg day, or maybe have a little bit more appreciation for it. If you don't, definitely implement these exercises into your workout plan. And if you do, let me know how it goes. If it's bad, let me know. If you absolutely hate the hex bar deadlift, I won't be offended. Just make sure you guys let me know in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on all social media platforms to make sure you get the up-to-date notifications on when the next video is coming out. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.